The galaxy trembles as an ancient cosmic horror stirs to life. This is not just any ordinary threat, it's something far beyond human understanding. Entire star systems disappear without a trace, swallowed whole by an unstoppable force. Alien civilizations, once mighty and confident, now crumble into chaos. Ships are torn apart by a powerful energy pulse, and entire planets are ripped from existence in the blink of an eye. It seems as though space itself is bending, warping, and collapsing under the weight of this unknown terror. The universe, once vast and endless, is slowly being consumed by a force that defies all logic and reason. Then, Earth picks up a strange signal, a distress call, but it's not from some distant alien race seeking help. No, this signal is different. It's coming from the very heart of the galaxy, from the center of the cosmic horror itself. The signal is weak, filled with desperation, but it's clear. Earth is in its path, and the terror is coming for them next. As the signal echoes through space, the chilling realization hits everyone on Earth. This cosmic nightmare isn't just something distant, it's heading straight for them. Humanity is no longer just a bystander in the universe. They are now part of this galactic battle for survival. The vast, cold void of space feels heavier now, as if every star and planet is watching, waiting for what comes next. Earth's leaders scramble to respond, knowing this could be the end of everything they've ever known. This signal may be their only chance to understand what they're up against, but is it a warning or an invitation? And can Earth stand a chance against something that seems to bend the very fabric of reality itself? Inside the United Nations Assembly, panic takes hold. The room is filled with representatives from alien races, some already planning their retreat. Alien empires, once proud and powerful, have all but abandoned their positions, fearing the unknown force that draws closer by the day. They demand Earth's immediate surrender, knowing their own civilizations stand no chance. Fear, confusion, and uncertainty ripple through the assembly as they realize they're powerless against the horror descending upon them. Amidst the chaos, a bold decision is made. Earth, with its limited technology and resources, will not give up without a fight. The leaders of the world make an unprecedented choice. Instead of sending military warships to fight the cosmic terror head-on, they decide to send something completely different, a fleet of diplomacy ships. The ships will not be armed for battle. They will carry messages of peace, hoping against all odds to communicate with the entity at the heart of the horror. The decision is met with outrage by some, disbelief by others. How can humans, who have never faced anything like this, expect to survive when even the most advanced alien civilizations are running for their lives? With no superweapons or godlike technology at their disposal, how could Earth even think about facing something that's threatening to destroy entire galaxies? In the midst of this chaos, one man steps forward, Captain Elias Kane. He is a seasoned diplomat, experienced in negotiations and peace talks, but he has never faced anything like this before. Despite his lack of military experience, Elias volunteers for the dangerous mission. He understands the risks, this is no ordinary diplomatic assignment. It could very well be a suicide mission. But what stands out about Elias is his unwavering calmness in the face of overwhelming odds. He doesn't panic. Instead, he exudes a quiet confidence that inspires hope in those around him. Despite all the fear and uncertainty, Elias is determined to take this step into the unknown. His resolve is unshakable. He may not have the firepower of advanced alien civilizations, but he carries something more powerful, humanity's unyielding desire to survive and connect, even with the most terrifying forces in the universe. Elias knows that this is a mission of peace, and he's willing to risk everything to give Earth a fighting chance. The journey is uncertain, and the stakes are higher than anyone can imagine. Will humanity be able to broker peace with a force so ancient and terrifying? Or will they be swallowed by the very terror that has consumed entire galaxies before them? As Elias prepares to lead the fleet into the unknown, humanity's fate hangs in the balance, and the clock is ticking. The horror approaches, and it is only a matter of time before they meet it face to face. The journey begins. Earth's fleet, a group of carefully selected ships designed for diplomacy, embarks on its mission into the unknown. They are headed straight for the heart of the cosmic horror, an entity so powerful and ancient that even the most advanced alien civilizations have fled from its wrath. Elias Kane, along with his crew, leads the charge aboard the diplomatic ship Peacekeeper, the flagship of Earth's mission. It is equipped with the latest technology, each piece a last-ditch effort to ensure their survival. As the fleet travels through a star system on the brink of total annihilation, tension fills the air. The stars they pass are already dimming, their light slowly being sucked away by the approaching darkness. The vastness of space seems to shrink around them, closing in as the crew comes to terms with their fragile position. Cloaking devices hum quietly, hiding them from the horror's prying eyes. AI systems were in the background, guiding the ship through the dangerous, uncharted space ahead. These technologies have never been tested in such conditions, and they are Earth's only hope of reaching the cosmic horror and surviving the encounter. But nothing can truly prepare them for the first wave of the entity's power. Without warning, a colossal, impenetrable black cloud looms before them. It devours stars with terrifying speed, swallowing them into its dark, endless void. This is the cosmic horror's first strike, and it is worse than anything they could have imagined. The Peacekeeper shudders violently as a pulse of dark energy crashes into them. The ship's systems go haywire, alarms blare, and the crew is thrown into chaos. The cloaking devices flicker, barely holding as the massive wave of energy passes by, narrowly missing them. But it's clear that their luck is running thin. The crew scrambles to maintain control as the engines start malfunctioning. The ship, once flying smoothly, now spirals out of control, pulled helplessly toward a nearby asteroid belt. The crew fights desperately to stabilize the vessel, but the damage is extensive. For the first time, they realize how fragile their mission is. The Peacekeeper plunges into the asteroid field, the giant rocks crashing dangerously close to the ship's hull. Sparks fly from exposed wiring, and the ship groans under the stress. The crew is left in stunned silence, realizing the full scale of the disaster they've just faced. Elias, now standing at the helm, grips the controls with a determined focus. He refuses to let fear take hold. His mind races through options. If they don't get their engines back online soon, they'll be stuck in this asteroid field, vulnerable to whatever the horror sends next. He shouts orders to his crew, guiding them through the chaos. For the first time, Elias begins to question everything. Can Earth's technology really handle this? Are they out of their depth, trying to face something so far beyond their understanding? Even with the most advanced cloaking devices, AI systems, and communication arrays, they barely survived the first encounter. The crew, once filled with confidence, now struggles to hold on to their hope. The black cloud looms closer, and Elias knows that time is running out. They can't afford to fail. But with every malfunction, every piece of technology failing to perform as expected, Elias feels the weight of responsibility heavier on his shoulders. He must keep his crew together, and somehow, they must find a way to face the cosmic horror and survive. But can they? As Earth's fleet moves deeper into the cosmic horror's domain, Elias Kane and his crew encounter something truly unexpected. The horrors they've faced, the unimaginable force of darkness threatening to consume them all, are not the work of a malevolent being, but rather something far more complex. It begins with a discovery. Using an experimental AI translator that had been modified for such an unprecedented situation, Elias and his team finally managed to make contact with the entity. The communication comes as a series of cryptic whispers, alien but hauntingly familiar. The translator crackles with static before the whispers form into words, each one laced with centuries of grief and isolation. The horror speaks of its ancient past, of a time when it was not a force of destruction but a simple being, living among others of its kind in the farthest reaches of the cosmos. It reveals its true nature. It is not a monster, but an ancient entity who has existed long before the birth of stars, trapped in a state of loneliness and endless wandering. For the first time, Elias and the crew hear the horror's voice, and it is not the terrifying sound they had expected. It speaks of being misunderstood, of the universe's cold indifference. The entity's life has been one of solitude, its kind destroyed by an expanding void, leaving it as the last of its species. Now, it is reaching out, desperate for contact with any form of life that might understand its pain. The crew listens in stunned silence, trying to process what they've learned. Elias, the ever-determined diplomat, feels a sense of empathy rising within him. He realizes that the entity, while terrifying in its power, is not the villain they once thought it to be. It is a victim of a universe that cares little for the suffering of its inhabitants. The truth is, this horror is not evil, it is alone, isolated in a vast and uncaring galaxy. But not everyone feels the same way. There are those in the fleet, particularly the soldiers, who refuse to believe this. They cannot fathom that the being they've been taught to fear could be anything but a threat. The fear of betrayal weighs heavily on their minds. If they lower their guard, if they allow themselves to trust this ancient entity, what if it turns on them when they least expect it? The tension is palpable. As Elias continues his communication, trying to form a bond with the horror, the uncertainty grows. And then, the situation takes a violent turn. A rogue faction of alien forces, led by a ruthless warlord who seeks to destroy the horror once and for all, ambushes the fleet. The peacekeeper and its comrades are caught off guard, and a fierce battle erupts. The humans, armed with limited weaponry compared to their alien foes, fight with everything they have. They use their agility, cunning, and teamwork to survive against overwhelming odds. The ship rocks under the intensity of the attack, and Elias orders the crew into close-quarters combat, knowing that the only way to win is to rely on their instincts and the environment around them. The battle is chaotic and brutal. The alien forces, armed with advanced technology and superior combat skills, seem unstoppable. Yet the humans hold their ground, using their creativity and quick thinking to fight back. Amidst the chaos, Elias' closest friend, Bonner, is tragically killed. The loss hits Elias hard. Bonner was more than just a crewmate. He was a symbol of the bond they shared in the face of overwhelming odds. His death deepens the emotional stakes for Elias, who now feels both the weight of their mission and the personal cost of their journey. In the heat of the battle, Elias is forced to confront his deepest fears, about the mission, the true nature of the cosmic horror, and the price of survival. The struggle is no longer just about saving Earth, it is about making a choice between following the path of fear or embracing the possibility of understanding the universe's greatest enigma. But with Bonner's death, Elias feels the stakes rise. The fragile hope that he's clung to is now at risk of shattering, and he must decide what kind of leader, and person, he is willing to become in the face of this unimaginable horror. The peacekeeper fleet has suffered tremendous losses. With Bonner's death and many others lost in battle, the remaining crew members are left reeling. Elias Kane stands at a crossroads, he must lead what's left of his people, and the stakes have never been higher. The humans, once seen as weak and unprepared, now face the ultimate test of survival. The enemy is still out there, and time is running out. But there's a shift. The humans, who had been fighting alone, are now faced with an unexpected opportunity. The cosmic horror, despite all its terrifying power, has reached out for an alliance. It is not the destructive force they once thought it to be, but an entity driven by loneliness and a need for survival. It, too, has suffered at the hands of the rogue alien warlord who seeks its destruction. The universe has been unforgiving to both species, and now they are united by a common enemy. Elias, ever the diplomat, sees the fragile opportunity to turn the tide. The humans may be small and underpowered compared to the alien forces, but they have one thing the warlord's army lacks: creativity. Earth's ingenuity, born of countless years of struggle, has taught them to think differently in moments of crisis. As much as they have suffered, humans have learned how to adapt and survive when the odds are stacked against them. Leading the charge, Elias and his remaining crew prepare for a daring assault on the warlord's flagship. The enemy's ship is a massive fortress, bristling with weaponry and protection, but the humans have something they can use, their advanced cloaking technology. The Peacekeeper and its allies slip through the shadows, unseen and unnoticed, as they approach their target. They know this is their last chance, and they move with quiet determination. Elias has also devised a plan to disable the warlord's weapon systems using a hacking algorithm developed by their onboard AI. This plan is risky, it could backfire and destroy them all. But Elias, despite the overwhelming fear, makes the call. There is no turning back now. As the assault begins, the sky is lit up with the fiery glow of orbital bombardment. Explosions ripple across the battlefield, shaking the very foundation of space itself. The distant stars seem to tremble as shockwaves from the bombardment spread out, destroying everything in their path. The humans move fast, using the chaos as their cover. The Peacekeeper flies through the debris and wreckage, cloaked from sight, until it reaches the flagship's docking bay. What follows is pure, brutal combat. Elias and his team infiltrate the warlord's flagship, making their way through the dark corridors, their senses heightened, ready for anything. The air is thick with tension. Every step is calculated. Every movement could mean life or death. The team fights with everything they have, using every piece of technology and every ounce of strength to overcome their enemies. Their weapons are limited, but their resolve is unmatched. In the heat of the battle, they move as one, as a single force with one mission: survival. The close-quarters combat is intense. The sharp sound of metal against metal rings out as humans face alien soldiers, who are stronger and better equipped. Yet the humans press on. They use the enemy's overconfidence against them, outsmarting them at every turn. It's not about brute strength or advanced weaponry, it's about determination. It's about the will to fight for survival, for the future of humanity in the possibility of peace. As Elias leads the charge, he realizes that this is not just a battle for their lives, it's a battle for the soul of the galaxy. The humans may be outmatched in terms of technology, but they are far from helpless. With their ingenuity, courage, and unity, they just might stand a chance against the overwhelming power of the warlord and his forces. The tide of battle is turning. Slowly, but surely, the humans are proving that even in the face of overwhelming odds, they can triumph. They may be the underdogs, but their strength lies not in their weapons, but in their unyielding spirit. This fight, this battle for survival, will define not just their future, but the future of the galaxy itself. The final battle is here, and everything has led to this moment. Elias and his team, battered but determined, face the warlord's forces on the flagship. The battle rages on, the sound of gunfire and explosions filling the air. As the humans push forward, Elias knows that they are about to reach the heart of the conflict. This is their last chance to end the war and secure peace for the galaxy. But it comes with a price. Elias has always been the one to think ahead, to keep hope alive, even in the darkest of times. However, in this final confrontation, he makes the ultimate sacrifice. As the warlord's flagship begins to crumble, Elias realizes that the only way to ensure the cosmic horror's survival and prevent the warlord from unleashing destruction on the galaxy is by giving up his own life. With one final act of bravery, Elias activates the ship's self-destruct sequence, setting in motion a chain of events that will lead to the horror's escape from the warlord's control. As Elias takes the final steps toward his sacrifice, the cosmic horror, now fully aware of humanity's compassion and willingness to fight for peace, uses its vast power to break free from the warlord's forces. With a blinding surge of energy, the horror unleashes a devastating wave that destroys the warlord's ship and the enemy forces, wiping out their reign of terror once and for all. The galaxy is free from tyranny, and a new chapter begins. Elias' sacrifice is not in vain. In his final moments, he sees the horror, once a terrifying force of destruction, now standing as a protector of Earth and the galaxy. The horror, having understood the depth of human emotion and the power of compassion, becomes an ally. It no longer seeks to consume, but to protect. The humans have shown it that there is strength in kindness, and that even the most feared entities can change. With Elias' sacrifice, the cosmic horror finds redemption, and the balance of power in the galaxy shifts forever. The warlord is gone, but the emotional cost of the battle is immense. As the humans return to Earth, they hold a memorial for the fallen heroes, especially Bonner, Elias' closest friend, whose death earlier in the story set the stage for Elias to make his bold decision. Bonner's sacrifice shaped Elias, just as Elias' final act shapes the future of humanity. They are all remembered, their sacrifices never forgotten. It is their courage and their willingness to risk everything that has led to this moment of peace. The humans have proved that even in the face of overwhelming odds, they can prevail. Through compassion, bravery, and understanding, they have turned a deadly enemy into an unlikely ally. The universe now looks to them not just as survivors, but as leaders, capable of bridging the gap between species and bringing peace to a galaxy torn apart by conflict. In the final scene, Elias' vision comes to life. Humanity, once the underdog, is now respected and revered across the galaxy, not for their military might, but for their unwavering compassion. The cosmic horror, now a protector, stands by their side, ready to face whatever challenges the future may hold. The galaxy is forever changed by the human's ability to see beyond fear, to find the heart beneath the terror. And as the peacekeeper sails into the vast unknown, Elias' final words echo in the hearts of those who remain: "It's not strength that defines us. It's our ability to see the good in others, even when the universe tells us to fear them."